Hello everybody, welcome for this new episode about the Bestiary of Terebia, and today I will talk to you about the malchien. So in fact the malchien is a word which can be used for two animals, and they are very different. The first, so the malchien with a double S, because you can write it by the same way, it's the same pronunciation. It's a natural creature. In fact, it's natural. It's an animal. Its triangle number is 12, so it's pretty inoffensive. And the advice is don't report it because you don't care about. In fact, the papers are made for the patrols, and they don't care about this malchien because it's not dangerous, and the other, so with the same name, is dangerous. So if advice is more an order, it's don't report that malchien, focus on the other. And it's the only reason why this animal have a paper. So for the Puritans, it's the same thing. You can see that the Purity scale is common for animal, and here we have the triangle of a freak, so it's in green, so not dangerous. And here the Purity scale. So that animal is famous for the wolf. So the wolf, it's a mix between the words wolf and wool, because at during the winter it produces a very warm wool, and at spring it will lose it. So between April and May it will start to lose it, and it's pretty expensive. So for example, if you succeed to take the wool on an entire pack, you can have in the best situation, you can have 25,000 dollars. So you don't have dollars in the world of Terebia. You can have for that region Rayak or Ekuz, but you can see it can be a good help. Generally, it's an help for the peasants because at the end of the winter they don't have a lot of food, uh, and so they can use that money to buy new food, in fact, or to buy tools for the agriculture, or to buy farm animals, things like that. You have two options to collect the wool. You can use a wolf tunnel, so it's a succession of boxes of wood open in two sides with a nail pointed in front of the end, and at the end you will have a cage with in it a piece of meat or some berries, because that animal love berries. So he will go in, but he will not be able to return. So he will be forced to came back. So with the tail in first, the nail will be against the wool, and because in that period the wool is not fixed anymore to the body, it will stay blocked in the nails, and you will be able to take it. But you're not sure that it will work. For example, another animal can go and take the food. Moreover, you can lose a little part of the wool. The other option is to take yourself the wool. You have two options for that. You can so you can in the first capture some malchien and keep them in captivity, but generally the quality of the wool will be pretty bad. Or you can try to be accepted by a pack, and so when the animals will accept you to touch them, you will be able to take the wool yourself with a wolf comb or a wolf rake. Of course, because it's pretty expensive, you have a lot of reglementation, a lot of rules. You have two organizations. You have the wolf shepherds. Them they collect the wool uh, with wild animals. So you have four flowers in their symbol. You have acolytes because it's linked to the wolves. You have also brambles. So why brambles? It's because it's a good argument for those malchiens. Why? In first, because they love berries, and on brambles you will have berries, of course, and also because they can hide in the brambles and so escape their predator. Then you have a fern because it's linked to the forest, and finally a flower of garlic because it's supposed to be linked with the wolves. And after that, you will have also them, the wolf shepherds. They take a wool from the wild animals, and the wolf combers them. They take wools from animals in captivity. So the origin of the name, it came from a malz, so little, and chien, so wolf. In ancient Gallian, so it's the ancient language of the Gallic kingdom, approximately, a double S has the same pronunciation as a C and a H. So you wrote it malchien, but you pronounce it malchien. You can find them in a lot of places in Terebia. In fact, in all the north of Terebia, you will be able to find them, but especially in the west, for two reasons. You have particular species of bramble named the blue brambles because they make blueberries, and the animals love that berries. The rest of the time they will hunt mouses, lizards, frog, sometimes snakes, little birds also. So they are not big predators. They live in packs, of animals between 12 and 13. But you don't have to imagine a pack like a wolf pack. They don't hunt together. Generally, they do it lonely, and sometimes by group or 3 or 5, but no more. And then at the end of the day, we will bring some of their prey to the group. for the babies or the animals which can't hunt. The other malchien, so you can write it with a K, and it's malchien, the other pronunciation. It's considered as an animal, but its final number is 45. So as you can imagine, it's pretty dangerous. And the advice is kill it. I will explain why a bit later. For the Puritans, it's the same thing, with a pretty scale, very common for animal, in fact. So here you have again the pretty scale, and here the position on the triangle of Wolf-Wick. So as you can see, it's in the red area, so it's pretty dangerous. So it came from malchien. So malch, in ancient Gallian, it want to say bad or evil, evil, of course. Sorry for the mistake. It's because you have another word in ancient Gallian, which is pretty similar. Sorry, I did a mistake when I was looking about the books. And wolf, so same thing. So it's became malchien, which became malchien, or malchien for the other option. The word malchien can also be used for a rabid animal. So now I will explain why the two animals are pretty different in their dangerosity. You have in first a grey wolf. So you have between 17 or 19 centimeters and 60 kilos globally. So it's the common wolf, the grey wolf. Then you have the malchien, so it's more like a big fox. And as you can see, it's a little animal, so it's not very dangerous. Between 14 or 50 centimeters, and between 12 or 20 kilos, so it's pretty inoffensive. And finally, the other malchien. So as you can see, it's bigger, between 110 or 120 centimeters, and between 19 and 110 kilos. So it can be very dangerous In fact, obviously it's stronger than a wolf, but it's also more resistance, because it has a stronger skin, and it's dangerous. It's difficult to hurt a malchien. Moreover, it can run or travel during a long time, so it have a big mobility. So the malchien can be found in the west of Terebia in little number, and we have a regular attacks in the red area, but possibly it's not impossible to find a malchien in different places of Terebia. Sometimes some of them were found in the extreme south or in the extreme east of Terebia. So the malchien are famous for their attacks on the people. They are in the same family as the wolves, but for example, in Terebia, it is the children who look at the animals at the farm animals, and sometimes you need to bring the animals out of the farm to allow them to eat grass, for example. Generally, it's the children which do it. And generally, the wolves will attack the animals, but the malchien will attack the humans. But so of course the children, but also the lonely traveler, male or female. And generally, it's more dangerous with the female because you can be attacked if you're a female, even if you are in a group or 2 or 3 people. After the arrival, for 1 or 3 weeks, you will have the animal will make a recognition of the terrain. It's known at a night without a wolf, because in that time the animal will also try to impress the wolves. Sometimes, if you have a wolf pack very very strong, it will succeed to kill the malchien. But more generally, the malchien succeed to impose its volunty to the wolves. After that, and also during that time, he will try to found the village, try to find places to attack, uh, places to sleep, things like that. And it's why when you hunt a malchien, you can have the feeling that the terrain is with him. In fact, it's because it look about the possibilities. After that, between 3 and 5 weeks after the arrival, it will find some safe places, and it's known as days without wolves, because the wolves live sometimes their forest to came around their babies to protect them, so you won't see wolves. Then, for 4 or 5 weeks, you will have watching shelters or cohorts. So it's because the animal during that week will watch different people without attacking them, and we don't know why. And finally, after 5 or 6 weeks, you have the beginning of the attacks. So, the attacks. They can go through 5 months or 4 years, and they can make, you can have between 40 and 350 deaths. In the first phase, we'll have a big number of dead in a medium area and during a very short duration. And generally, it's far from the village or the road. The creature is very active, but stay safe. And during that time, you will be able to find between 10 or 25% of the dead. The second phase, you will have a big number of dead in a vast area in an average duration, and it came closer to the village. You can have between 22 and 40% of the dead. The third phase, it can be considered as the less dangerous and the more dangerous, because during that time you will have a little number of dead in a vast area and during a long duration. Generally, it can be 50% of the time. So why? It's because during that period, the malchien will try to do his reproduction with another malchien, and so it's less active. But it's because he wants to reproduce with another animal. It can be so you can have between 9 and 20% of the attacks. After that, you will have a fourth phase with a very big number of attacks in a very little area. Sometimes it came even in the village to attack in a very short duration. Generally, that period starts when the babies with the mother leave the territory. And generally, the mother travel to found a territory in which a male is attacking when a female wants to reproduce. And then she will found a territory with her babies. So you have a paradox. You have biggest probability to be attacked by a male. But when a female found a territories, you will have a very very big numbers of dead because she have to find food for the babies. And the big problem, if exceptionally you don't have any luck, the male and the female and the babies can stay in the same territories. And if it happens, you will have a series of attack, very long series of attack with with a very big number of dead. I don't put it, but you can have a series from a duration of 5 years with 500 of death. So it can be very impressive. Generally, also, if you succeed to protect yourself from an attack, generally you will have a succession of attack in the day after. And to be safe, generally it attacks a population of peasants because they are the easier to catch and to attack. So generally they are equipped with spears, but you don't. It's not a spears like a military spears with a good wood and a blade very sharp. No, generally it's a blade of knife fixed on a stick. Generally it's used by children, so it's not a big challenge for the malchien. It's very powerful and very strong, and it's hard to hurt a malchien, so it's not very it's not a very good weapon. The other solution is to have a rope with fixed on it 3 rocks. The idea is that you will make it turn over your head, and then you will try to hurt the malchien on the head. It can work. It can hurt it. And sometimes, if you have luck, you can have a malchien which was hurt by wolves, and so you can try to kill it. You have also 2 organizations who try to protect the population from the malchien. You have the Monster and Beast Hunter. This organization is known to be powerful, to have very competent soldiers, but to look for glory. And so, if you have a little number of attacks, they won't move, because they will wait that the situation is good for glory and for them. The other solution is the Protectors and Hunters. It's another organization, and they will look for people in the village. They will give equipment, so it can be a bow, a crossbow, spears, so good spears for people, and then they will organize hunts to try to find and kill the animal. So what is now the no what is the relation of the scarecrows with the animals? So the two ignores the first malchien because it's basically it's a fox, so it's not have a big interest for them. Even if the shepherds sometimes uh, tried to try to found malchien for their wool to have money. They pretend them they were interested by the other malchien, so the big one, because they wanted it in their patrols of inquisitors and in their patrols and in their armies. They were not they were not alone. A lot of armies wanted malchien in their armies, but in fact, a common wolf, is difficult to control because it will don't obey to you. But the malchien, it's a lonely creature. It's pretty aggressive, and if it feels that you want to have a domination on it, it will basically try to kill you. So use it in armies, it's pretty difficult. And so finally, the two are agree about the fact that the population have to be protected. For the Puritans, the village had to pay a tax, and in exchange, some patrols will go in the village to protect them. For the shepherds, they are linked with a network of shamans, which will collect information in the forest and in the village, and they will make a compilation of that. And if they think that they are seeing signs of a malchien, they will send soldiers in the region to try to protect the population and to kill the animal. So it's all you had to know about the two malchiens. You can say in comments if you have a preference for one of them. For the next episode, uh, you will we can choose between the Wahmratia, the werewolves, also called lycans, or the Houppe. And bye for the next episode.